challenging, son.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Shortbox. My name's Ryan. I'm doing another one of these things solo, and today we're going to talk about Savage Dragon 250. Now, as you guys can tell, huge fan of the early Image stuff, and don't get me wrong, like I've said, some of it is not the best, but then you have stuff like this, and you have the Savage Dragon miniseries. So I thought I'd just take this out real quick. This is the first 3-issue miniseries of Savage Dragon. I was a little bit late to the party, but I really, really loved this as a kid when I first picked it up. And I picked up the first miniseries and first few issues of the series as well. And I'll just flip through. Let me just flip through the first issue. We won't get into the whole miniseries because this one's really more about 250. But let's just flip in. I loved it, dude. It was just full of action. Look at the fucking, this was Erik Larsen Unbound, right? He had already made a name for himself on Spider-Man, and now he is with his own creation. And the creation of Savage Dragon dates back before 92, before this miniseries. But just look at this shit, dude. This shit's just, it's amazing, dude. The fucking blood and this is kind of like the original Savage Dragon, right? No memory of who he was prior. Eventually, over the 250 issues, we get a sense of we learn his backstory, right? Look at that. Okay. That's enough, or let's flip through. We'll look at, a couple of the other ones. Look, there's the Super Patriot. That's another one of Erik Larsen's creations, and this is the Vicious Circle. All the villains, dude. He is a wealth of ideas, continues to fucking just create. Even all these years later, he's still creating a bunch of new characters that just fucking... I love the design of Savage Dragon. I love the action in the comic. It's just fucking amazing. And, he always... He uses cliffhangers pretty well too, and then look at this. You got Inferno. It's just so great, dude. Fucking Overlord. Fighting Bedrock, now Badrock because of a trademark issue. But yeah, so there's just so much going on already. It's a bunch of action, but you know what? That's enough of that. Let's talk about the main reason we're here today. The main reason we're here is for this bad boy right here. Now, this is a variant cover. I'll start off right off the bat. I got the Scotty Young, and a huge fan of Scotty Young, and I just figured, you know what? This cover was too fucking hilarious to not pick up. For those of you that can't see what it says, it's got Erik Larsen all bloody. You shot me like a lot. Why did you shoot me so much? And of course, Dragon says, your weird backwards ass drawing hand created me. You should know I hate surprises. I mean, it's just fucking hilarious. And Erik Larsen, he has a unique drawing style. I just love that Scotty Young felt the need to kind of allude to that on the cover. So for those of you that aren't familiar, maybe you've been out of the loop, as I said, look, we have right here, we have Savage Dragon, right? But then you ask, who's this guy? That's his son. And that's the beauty of this fucking comic, is that it ages in real time. So real events are depicted in this book. And from the different presidents that we've had, from George Bush Sr. and the original run, all the way to now, and Trump has been in the book. We've had Obama, we've had Bill Clinton, we've had George Bush Jr., all the presidents. Erik Larsen is always able to tap into what's happening right now in real world events because he does it in real time. There's some stuff that might be a little R-rated. I won't get into it, too much. But basically, this right here is, they're on quarantine. You know why? Because they're dealing with COVID-19 just as we are. Now, Malcolm Dragon and his family live in Canada. They don't live in the U.S. So, it's just dealing with this, and it even breaks the fourth wall. It's talking about, what are we doing for the anniversary issue? We can't just fucking have you guys talking for a bunch of pages. But I just found it humorous. He still makes the pages exciting with, you have her standing in the foreground. You have Malcolm in his full head right there. So he's still, even though nothing's really going on, he's still making the pages exciting. That's a little X-rated, so we'll skip that. And it's even dealing with real things like what's going to happen with the kids. We don't know what's going to happen next year. I know California, we're not going to have kids in kindergarten, so it's it'll be interesting to see how Erik deals with that moving forward with the family, you know. And I love this. They jump through the wall. Fucking Malcolm and his lady are gonna have some fucking alone time. Nope, they fucking attack, dude. And what happens? A bloodbath ensues, and the kids get in on it. They're fucking murdering, fucking. I mean, this is the fun about this book. It has like that classic feel, but with so much extreme modern sensibilities to it, and it's just a fun book to read. You know, I've gone back and forth over the years. I've missed some stuff, and I'll come back to it. But every time I come back, I'm never disappointed. It's crazy to me. It doesn't have a huge readership, but it's got its loyal readers, and I can count myself amongst them, you know? Look at this, dude. Look at that. He rips the dude's fucking head apart. I mean, I love this. Not a book you can read in front of your kids, that's for sure. So I'll keep skipping ahead. But look, so that's the main story, but it ends on this cliffhanger. You may be wondering, who the fuck is that? Well, I'll tell you right now. Let me flip this book over. A reprint of graphic fantasy, the first legit appearance of Savage Dragon when Eric Larson first created and self-published him. Okay, so look at the fin. You'll see that. Now, I had the pleasure of talking to Eric, interviewing him. Kind of gave me some spoilers. I'm not going to be able to share that in the interview that's, I believe, will be posted already when you guys see this video. But he alluded to some really awesome stuff, and I fucking cannot wait for everybody to read it. I can't wait to read it. So that is the main story. Not a lot to talk about, mostly because they're dealing with COVID, but I do think that that's an interesting aspect of the book that, like, we're able to see it. What other heroes have we seen that with? We haven't. It's one of the more unique things that Savage Dragon offers. Now we have some other stories dealing with some of the other characters, you know, all very cool. And, you know, I'm going to skip ahead because this is what I really want to talk about. I want to talk about the reprint of Graphic Fantasy. I've never seen this. You know, I think it's fucking dope that we finally get to see this printed, and it was originally black and white, and now we get to see it in color. And you get the backstory of this version of Dragon, who is a part of the larger multiverse of dragons that we saw briefly when the multiverse of, you know, collapsed, right? And everything was merged. And we get to, you know, even back then in the 80s, when he was creating this, we still see the characters that are alive and well today. And it's just amazing that even back then he had these things, like, it had to have all been a plan, right? That he was going to create this title and he was going to use these characters, and he just, like, it's amazing how many different characters he came up with. You know, the coloring was even matched to, like, mimic the old school style, which I thought was really cool. You know, and look, Star, who later becomes a major character in the regular Savage Dragon book that we all know and love, and it continues on, man, and it's just really, it's, look at that. I mean, he was so young when he was doing this, man. It's insane, and it's cool to see it. And when, you know, I won't get more into it because, like, I mean, I could spend an hour talking about this. I just wanted to give my brief thoughts, my brief excitement on this issue. It was another great anniversary issue, $10 for 100 pages. You can't beat it. And if you haven't been reading Savage Dragon, I recommend you change that right now. Pick up some issues, man. It's some of the most fun superhero books you'll read, and it's not for your kids, man. So it's definitely got some adult themes. You know, I'll probably do some more deep Savage Dragon coverage, you know, going on into the future. Maybe I'll jump back and we will do the mini series. I know I just kind of flipped through it, but it's something, you know, myself and maybe Mario will talk about with me. But yeah, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Comic Lounge. Check us out, thecomiclounge.com. We love any comments, suggestions. You can put those down below. You can email us, thecomicloungepod@gmail.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss anytime we throw up a new video. And on that note, I'm out.